All right, let's talk about the first and honestly the most critical step in any data project, actually getting your hands on the data and whipping it into shape. Today, we're going to dive deep into how you can master this using Power BI's secret weapon, Power Query.
And you know what? It's absolutely true. This isn't just some boring prep work you have to get through. It's the foundation. It's everything. Get this part wrong, and your entire analysis, all those beautiful charts you're planning, well, they become pretty much useless.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You get a new data set, you open it up, and it's just a disaster. Full of errors, weird inconsistencies, missing bits and pieces. It's overwhelming. You're left thinking, where do I even start with this chaos?
Well, this is where our hero, Power Query, steps in. It's the engine running under the hood of Power BI, designed specifically to take that raw, messy data and let you systematically transform it into a clean, reliable, and totally trustworthy asset for your analysis.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll connect to our data sources. Then, we'll get into the fun part, shaping and cleaning. After that, we'll see how to combine different data sources, make sure everything runs fast by optimizing performance, and finally, we'll have data that's ready for some serious analysis. Okay, let's dive right in with step 1, connecting to your data. I mean, it makes sense, right? Before you can do anything cool, you have to actually bring that data into Power BI. This is ground zero for your entire project. And this is where Power BI really shines. It is so flexible. It doesn't matter if your data lives in a simple Excel file, a massive SQL database, a plain old CSV, or even on a web page somewhere, chances are Power Query has a connector for it.
Right off the bat, you've got a big decision to make: how to store your data. With import mode, you're basically taking a full copy of the data and putting it inside your Power BI file. This makes your report super fast, but you have to schedule refreshes to keep it up to date. On the other hand, Direct Query leaves the data where it is and queries it live. This is great for real-time data, but your report's speed now totally depends on how fast that source system is. It's this classic trade-off: speed versus freshness.
All right, now for the main event, the part that feels like magic. We're talking about shaping and cleaning data. And honestly, it's more of an art than a chore. This is where you take that chaotic mess and sculpt it into something clean, precise, and ready to tell a story. Let's talk about a classic and oh-so-frustrating problem: the hidden space. You know, that little invisible character at the beginning or end of a piece of text. It seems like nothing, but trust me, it can completely break your data relationships and make your visuals just wrong.
And this right here shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this. We have 4 different records that should all be for the exact same person. But because of those pesky hidden spaces, Power BI thinks they're 2 different people. It's a perfect example of how one tiny, invisible error can completely wreck the trust in your numbers.
The good news? The fix is unbelievably simple. There's a function in Power Query called text.trim. You click a button, and poof, it zaps all those extra spaces, and suddenly all 4 of those records are correctly seen as one person. It's so satisfying.
But of course, trimming spaces is just the beginning. A real deep clean means handling all those missing values, getting rid of any duplicate rows, making sure your numbers are actually numbers, and renaming your columns to something a human can actually understand.
And let's zoom in on correcting data types for a second. Choosing between a decimal and a fixed decimal number might sound super technical and minor, but trust me, it is a huge deal. A standard decimal can sometimes have these tiny, weird rounding errors because of how computers do math. For most things, it's fine, but if you're working with money, You need a fixed decimal to guarantee that every single cent is accounted for, with no exceptions.
Okay, so you've cleaned up your individual tables. They're all sparkling and perfect. Now what? Well, most of the time, your data is spread out, so you need to bring it all together into one unified view. This is how you build a really rich, comprehensive analysis.
In Power Query, you've got 2 main ways to do this. First, you can append queries. Think of this like stacking your tables on top of each other. You have sales for January, February, March. You append them to get one big table for the whole quarter. Then you have merge. This is like a VLOOKUP on steroids. It joins 2 tables side by side based on a column they share, letting you add more detail, like pulling in product names into your sales table.
So your data is clean. It's combined. You'd think you're done, right? Not quite. Now we have to make sure it's fast. Because let's be honest, a report that takes forever to load is a report that nobody is going to use. Optimization is absolutely essential.
One of the coolest, most powerful optimization tricks in Power Query is something called query folding. It's a bit of genius, really. Instead of pulling all the raw data into Power BI and then doing all the cleaning and filtering, Power Query translates your steps into the data source's native language, like SQL. Then it tells the database, hey, you do all this heavy lifting for me and then just send me the final clean result.
And why does this matter? Well, the benefits are massive. Your data refreshes are way faster because you're not moving tons of unnecessary data around. You're using the power of your big database server, which is built for this stuff. And it's the only way that direct query mode can really work without grinding to a halt.
And just like that, we've done it. We have reached the finish line of the preparation phase. We've taken that raw, ugly, messy data and transformed it into a clean, structured, optimized model that's finally ready for some real analysis.
So let's just quickly recap the journey we've been on. We connected to our sources, we did the hard work of cleaning and shaping, we brought different tables together, and we made sure the whole thing was optimized for speed.
So if you remember anything from this, remember this. Data transformation isn't just a chore. It is the bedrock of good analysis. Power Query is your best friend for getting it done right. And those little choices you make along the way about storage modes, data types, and optimization, they have a massive impact on your final result. This is the work that makes real insights possible.
But hey, don't get too comfortable because this is really just the beginning. Now that our data is pristine, the real magic can start. And that happens when we begin to build our data model and create relationships.
So I'll leave you with this question. All the hard prep work is done, your data is clean, it's reliable, it's ready to go. The only thing left to ask is, what story are you going to tell with it?